Alrighty. Welcome to the Option Genius Show. Today is March 13th, 2026. As always, we are not financial advisors, so take anything we say with a grain of salt. This is for education and entertainment purposes only. Don't trade with money you cannot afford to lose. Welcome, Matt. How you doing today?
Good. It's funny you said we're not advisors, and actually, I don't want to be an advisor. I was just thinking about
Yeah,
it.
I think advisors are going to be the one things that AI knocks off pretty quickly, you know?
Yeah,
Um,
it's already there. It's been happening a long time. You could look back at Vanguard and remember they were like, "Yeah, we had this robo advisor," and you're like, "Oh, okay," years ago, right? So it's already here.
Yeah, I mean, if you cannot beat the market, then what good are you, in a sense, right? And so people go to these advisors because they're human and they get trusted. They're like, oh, yeah, I trust my guy. Like I got a guy, I know a guy. But eventually you're going to realize that, that guy is costing you a lot of money.
For something that you could do yourself.
Yes, for sure. And we've been teaching people how to do that for 15 years.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
lots of success stories. Lots of people have benefited, and it just it's crazy. People still don't believe it though, you know?
No, no, of course not. But I understand why they don't, right? I do because you get caught up in your life, you get put into a system, into a box, you're taught a certain way, you're busy. I mean, there's numerous factors that put you into that mental framework of like why they know better than you.
Yeah, yeah, and it's also how we were brought up, right? I
Yeah.
mean, if you're maybe 40 plus, it was always, you respect your elders, your teachers, and know more than you. People who have a higher education know more than you. The people that have the all the letters after their names, they know more
Yeah.
than you. Years ago, I had an advisor, and he put MBA at that at like he had all these different letters, and one of the three of them were MBA, and I'm like, okay, that
Yeah, and the
you
more
know.
you had, the more you're like, wow,
Yeah, people are like, holy cow. I still remember when I was little, I don't know how old I was, probably like 10. Um, there was a fellow in our like our, the family friend circle. He got his MBA, and all of us all went out to dinner to celebrate this guy getting an MBA. And it was like a big, big deal.
right.
And then when I got to college, it was like, man, if you don't have an MBA, you're like not employable.
Yeah, it's like why you here, right? And
Exactly.
yeah.
It's like you don't have a choice. Like, yeah, you're gonna go to school 4 years. Maybe you take a year off or 2 years to go work for a company, and then you go back and you get your MBA, or you go straight to get the MBA. And so, especially if you're going, like I was going into business and marketing and whatnot. So it's like that's the path. You have to take it. If you don't have an MBA, you're
Yeah.
not getting a job at that point. And this was years ago, 20
Yeah.
years ago. So now everything is changing, but the market is still there. It's going to be there. It's going to be around. Um, and like today, we are actually back down. So interesting day today. We were
Yeah,
down
started
or
out
up.
quite up.
We were
Yeah,
up,
we're up
then
quite a bit. Mhm.
down, and then like flat, and then it went back, and then it went down, and now we're down 0.5% on the SPX. Nasdaq's down, Rut's down, the Dow is flat, gold is down 0.5%, VIX is up after being down. Um, OVX is actually coming down. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I mean, it is something. We were looking at last night in our classes and just as a note, right? And it's just like, wow, it is just skyrocketed.
But OVX right now, which oil volatility is at 108, which is down 10% today. So it is coming down, I guess today at least, um, with no news, pretty much. So interesting.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting.
The price is
Um,
holding pretty high though. I mean, we're just shy of 100.
yes. Yeah, yeah. WTI is up to 98. Brent is over 100. So that's not changed. That's actually WTI is actually up 2% today. So I remember last show, me and you were talking, and I said that everything is coming up rosy for Trump. And you had the opposite opinion, and you said, it all depends on how long this war is going to take. And you said that you thought that the war was going to take much longer than what we've been led to believe.
Yeah.
And in those 2 days, I have come around to your way of thinking,
Well, thank
which is which is interesting, right? But and I guess call me naive for listening, but there's a lot of stuff that happens under the surface that we don't know about, or we're not told. And the spin that's being done on the war is it's being done really well, I believe,
yeah. Guess
by the
so.
administration. They've learned a lot from the first administration where they had different advisors, and by now I think he had already fired several people multiple times. But this time he's only fired one person so far. Christy Nome, um, the Homeland
It
Security
looks like you
lady.
kind of had to there, you know.
Yeah, well, she kind of blamed something on him, right? They spent what, 200 plus $1 million on ads, and somebody asked her, "Oh, does Trump know about it?" And she said, "Yes, he approved it." And that might have been true. Who knows? I think it
Right.
was true. Otherwise, she probably wouldn't have been stupid enough to say it,
Right.
right?
So
But Trump didn't like the blame being put on him, and so she was out the next day or the same day. Whoops.
yeah,
Oops. Um,
you're fired, and it was, and
yeah. Well, she didn't get fired. She got reassigned somewhere
yeah,
else.
well,
The same thing. But yeah, so we're still in a government partial shutdown, which is not being talked about. And I'm kind of concerned because I have my oldest son is going on a trip on Wednesday. I got to take him to the airport, and I don't know how many hours we will have to get there early. You
right.
know,
So where is he headed to? I mean,
he is going to Boston.
okay, yeah, I thought about this with our family too, because my wife was like, okay, I'm thinking about flying to Dallas, and I'm like, you're hearing all these long lines and TSA and all that stuff, and I'm like, I don't know if you're going to be able to do that,
I mean,
or
you'll
why
get there
you
eventually.
will, but like, okay, and she's talking about like a weekend type trip,
Yeah.
like that could be elongated. You don't know.
People are still traveling.
There's stuff.
It
I'm not
hasn't
saying
completely
that, but
died. But I mean there were 3 hour lines last week at Houston airports to go through TSA, to
yeah,
go through security, because there aren't enough agents. And that's bottom line, So if it's happening here, it's probably happening everywhere. So yeah, if she's going, like I'm thinking we're gonna have to leave much earlier to get there.
hmm
And if we get through the line and we're sitting there for a couple hours, I might just drop him and leave, go home.
yeah.
He's a minor,
Get some real world experience.
he's a minor. He's 15. He's been on a plane before by himself, so I can walk him to the gate and be like, "All right, buddy, he's sitting here for
Yeah.
2 hours. Here's some cash. Go buy some breakfast, watch TV, and I'll see you when you get back."
Little vacation at the airport.
Yeah, exactly. Walk around, look at all the stuff.
Well,
Um,
that's saying a lot, right? Because Houston, I mean, I've been through Houston, of course, and it's been relatively smooth and, they have everyone in place. So that is a big, big problem, right? That we don't have these workers. And it's getting worse. I mean, a lot of these workers I think they said that they're even feeling so bad that they're putting like food drives for these people, for TSA workers and things
really.
like that to support them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much a TSA worker makes, but if you're out of work for a while, you're probably gonna be like, let me go find another job.
I think the average is like 40,000 is what I read.
That's it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they could easily get another job.
Yeah.
Hope, well, maybe, and maybe. Unemployment is ticking up today. We did have a GDP number that came in revised lower.
Yep.
So the economy is definitely slowing down. We thought the economy was slowing down last year, but it definitely did even more than we expected. Still positive, but
Yeah.
definitely slowing down year after year after year.
What point? 0.7%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also core inflation is up again. So we're looking at an inflation number above 3%.
Hmm.
And that was last month, right? It's not going to account for the jump in oil prices
Yeah.
that we are seeing now. I also noticed or read an article today that beef prices are at maybe an all-time high. They are very high right now. And fertilizer and feed and everything, cost of all that stuff is going up as well. So, steak is going to be not on the menu for much longer.
It's like peanut butter and jelly for a while,
I think so. And so it's interesting that a lot of this is hinging on this war,
huh? Hmm.
right? Um, we have the defense. What was his name? Not the defense guy. One of the guys. I don't know. The guy with the glasses. I forget their few. All there's so many names. He came out and said that the U.S. government is not ready to uh, escort people or ships through the Strait of Hormuz. Not ready to do that. So eventually they might, but right now they're not. Um,
I just put right there, and I've been thinking about this. I think of all this stuff, right? But it makes me wonder, like we got into this war, and wouldn't that be like a major point, right? Or a contingency, you have some kind of contingency plan for, you know, oil, which is at the core of a lot of this, right? And the
yeah,
movement over there. So
yes.
it
I don't
seems
know.
pretty, I
I
don't
don't
know
know.
either. I'm just bringing it up because I'm like,
Yeah, exactly.
how are we like talking about it now? Like it doesn't seem like we even had like, oh, we'll do this. I mean, again, I'm not there, right? I'm not sitting at the table, but it is interesting. It seems like we're like, oh yeah, this could be a big problem.
There were reports that that was the one thing that they did not consider. And so we got Michael commenting that he's actually on the way to Austin. He's listening to us on the road, driving to Austin.
Hey,
He's glad he didn't fly. um, and so safe drives, Michael. And then so earlier today, I was listening to another podcast. Um, it showed up on my feed. Diary of a CEO, very, very big podcast now. Very
love that
like,
one. I think it's a really good one. Yeah.
yeah, I'm not a big fan of the host. He seems like a nice guy, but
Why? Yeah, very interesting. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, he just asks questions that anybody could ask. I don't see like what's so big about him, but
Well,
he's,
I do. Not to get off point, but he does ask questions, I think, so the listener can understand. So I know he knows the answers to those
mhm.
questions.
Yeah,
So
some of them. Yeah.
he's like, tell me about this, and it's like, okay, it kind of
Yeah.
leads to explain.
Yeah, but he has done his thing. He has done his put in his hours and put in the reps, and he has a great team. They do a lot of great marketing. They're out there. They're all over the place, and they get really really good hosts or interviews. Right? They get
Yeah, great
people. They
guess.
get they get really get yeah. The guests are amazing.
And a variety
Um,
of them, I'd say.
yeah, and so the one that just came out. Um, was a guy named Robert Pape, Pape, I believe it is. And this guy is a defense advisor or military advisor,
Mhm.
and he's been advising the different White House governments, the administrations for over 20 years, including Trump one. And so the guy was interviewing him about the Iran war and what's going on and what does it look like it's going to happen. And it didn't seem it was going to be good news, so to speak. And so he did like, you know, because of his He's also a teacher at a university, and so he has connections and he knows kind of behind the scenes what's happening, right? Um, and it was very interesting. Several of the things he said was very, very interesting. And one of the things we talked about earlier too was that Marco Rubio came out one time in the beginning, right? For the whole reason we attacked. I think it was Marco Rubio came out and said that hey, Iran was or Israel was going to attack,
Yeah, he like
and
miss said, right?
yeah, and then they walked that back. They're like, oh no, 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 we're not going to do what Israel wants. We're going to do what we want. Okay, sure, but he said it, and I think that actually makes sense because what Pape said was that, if you think about it, you go back, right? And you are negotiating with this country, right? We're negotiating with Iran.
Mhm.
And they almost had a deal. They didn't like the deal, but they had an offer. But guess who would not like that deal?
I would
Our
say
partner,
Israel.
our
Say
little
Israel.
partner.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
And
believe this. I believe this theory. Yeah.
and so they call and they say, "Hey, we are attacking." And
What you doing,
then
right?
Trump says, "Okay, we'll go with you." Um, I don't know. It's very
Well, if you
likely.
go back a little bit and you think about it, Israel wanted to go back under in his first term, I think. They
Mm.
wanted to do this, then they held off, they negotiated, it fell through, right? And now it's like Israel going back again. Because I remember very clearly Netanyahu was at the White House in President Trump's first term, and they were discussing this, and he kind of like said, "We're going to negotiate," and like he looked off-centered, like he was like, "That's not what I was doing here. Like I thought we were going to be partners, and we're going to go take care of this,
Right.
right?" So kind of looked. I remember that interview and him being like, looking at Trump, kind of like, "That's not what we are talking about here."
Yeah.
So it's like this to me is like a second like a final approach of what Netanyahu really wants to do. Who knows? But it does what that guy is saying when you're telling me, it does kind of add up.
It makes sense because Israel does not have the army to go in to Iran. They cannot do regime change because they don't have the forces to go in.
Right.
They
They
can
need
they
us.
can they can keep bombing all they want,
Mhm.
but that's all they could do, right? They would need an army to go in and find this nuclear
Material.
material.
And who knows where it is? I mean, it could
Exactly.
be they could be shipping it out in different places. And the worst
Yes.
fear, I think, is it gets to Hezbollah and other third parties. It's like, oh,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Exactly. And that's what this guy was saying in the interview. He's like, take a look at this picture. And they had Israel or not Israel, Iran has a couple of these enrichment facilities, right? And they're deep underground, under the mountain. The centrifuges are way buried below. And we or Israel bombed them months ago,
right.
right? We
And then
bombed them months ago and then we stopped bombing. But this guy, Pape, had pictures. He's like, look at this picture 2 days before the bombing. And there's this mountain and there's like this little building there and there's a line of trucks.
like, what do you
He,
think we're doing? I mean, you
he's
don't have
like,
to be a genius to figure this out. I mean,
he's like, they're moving the stuff, right? And he goes, this is what the biggest problem is that yes, we can bomb them and we're bombing them perfectly. Like our bombs are so smart that they will hit the target 90% of the time. You know? He goes, he showed one picture of a guy that they bombed before. I think it was in Chechnya. I don't know where it was, but there's this guy that they bombed and he's getting into his car. He's on the phone and he looks up and the bomb takes a picture of him
that is insane.
right before I mean, you can see his face
I
looking
heard
at the
about this.
bomb right before the bomb blows him up.
Uh-oh.
So he's like, yeah, these bombs are very, very precise. But the problem is we don't know where this stuff is. Now, Iran is a large country, about one third, maybe the size of the US.
Hmm.
It has a million person army, a million man army. That's the same as the US. And their most fevered are the guards. And there are
Right.
about 100, 150,000 of those.
Hmm.
And so they're very committed to the regime. They're committed to their way of life. And so, it he's like he said so many things. Like I don't want to, if anybody wants to listen to it, go listen to it or go read what this guy's written. He's written books before it, and he has a Substack and sends emails out and everything. Robert Pape, Pape.
Yeah.
Um,
Heard of him.
really, really smart guy. Really, I mean, it really opened my eyes to, oh, wow, okay, this does not seem like it's going to end soon because again, we don't have the material. He said that they have enough for 16 bombs, and it's not enriched yet to be a weapon, but it doesn't have to be enriched all the way up to like 100%. He goes, if you can get up to 90%, that's like amazing. But even if it's at 50, even if it's at 60 or 70%, it can still be a bomb. And
You can do major damage. Yeah.
they had it up to 60%.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing I never heard was that the ex supreme leader, the guy who died, right? He had made two fatwas. Now, a fatwa is a religious creed, right? A religious declaration, kind of like the Pope saying, "Hey, abortion is bad,"
Mhm.
or "This is bad. Don't do it." And so everybody follows it, right? So this guy made not one but two different fatwas that Iran does not want nuclear weapons,
I know where you're going with this.
and he's the one that they killed. And now his son, who is the next leader, does not have to follow that fatwa anymore. And
And by
he,
all accounts, I hear he's more aggressive too.
exactly, he is more
And you just
aggressive.
killed his family.
You just killed his family, and you're surrounded by more aggressive people. So guess what? If you're going to be like, you know what? I think we're just going to surrender, they're going to kill you. It's like,
Mhm.
no, you're going to fight back. You're going to die trying,
Right.
right? You're not surrendering. You're gonna keep fighting until they kill you.
You got to
And
think about what you would do, and you have to be honest. Like if someone came and tried to kill my family and all this, you're going to be a
yep.
lot different space.
So you know how Trump said that, oh, we were gonna kill the supreme leader, but then the people that we were gonna put in charge, they died, and then the people after them died. Well, guess who killed all them? Israel. It was the Israeli bombs that took out the supreme leader.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. They just like, oh yeah, no. It's like Trump just kind of took credit for it in a way. He's just like, yeah, it comes out as a headline. We took out the Supreme Leader, and you're like, oh yeah, Trump did that. But it's
Hmm.
not actually what happened,
Yeah.
right? It's from the Israeli side.
Yeah. So we have the nuclear stuff all over the country. Nobody knows where it is. So now Trump has the option of saying, okay, we're done, we're leaving, goodbye. Or he can put troops on the ground and go look for it and
Yeah,
say, oh, they don't have it. Or if they find it, if they find some of it, but how to know if they're going to find all of it? Are they making more? Who knows? It's a big country. You're not going to look all, you can't find the whole, you're not going to search the whole country.
right.
Um, and so it could be a prolonged war that takes forever. Um, And he goes, he was saying that's one of the reasons that it took so long with Iraq because they were telling everybody that there's WMDs there and they kept looking for them and kept looking for them and they couldn't find anything, but it took forever to look for them.
Hmm.
Similar thing here. And then the idea of legacy came up, or like for Trump, that's the most important thing. Like, well, how is he going to be remembered? He
Right.
wants the Peace
Basically,
Prize.
later in life, he's done everything, and this is
Uh-huh.
like his
This will be the last
first
thing
home.
people remember from him. How did he do in his president in second term? Nobody's going to remember first term. They're going to remember second term. And so if he messes up or if he pulls back, and it turns out that they do have a bomb, then he's going to look stupid. If they go in and they stay troops and they stay there for a long time, then he's going to he got us into another war that he said he wouldn't. And then at the same time, you have prices going up around the world as this
Yeah.
war continues.
And it's touching everybody. This is not like one of those things where it happens across the world and you're like, okay, yeah, that's over there. This is everything.
Hmm.
And as it goes on, it gets worse and worse and worse. Um, I also am paying really close attention to what these countries are saying. If you really think about it, you have, and their objectives, because you have Iran who's saying, okay, we'll surrender, not surrender, but we will stop the war if we have like three conditions. I forget exactly what they were, but the three conditions that are not going to be met by the US. Trump's saying, okay, um, we're gonna stop the war when I say it's gonna be done, basically. And then you have Israel, who's really kind of open-ended but clear in their objective that they want to more so eliminate, right? So it's like really when I look at those three pieces, I'm like, Israel's in it for the long haul. It's like a different mentality of where this war is going.
Hmm.
So I don't think, the way Israel's talking, that's not an end game. That's ongoing,
Yeah.
right? I don't think
Yeah.
there is an end game of that.
Yeah. So I mean, Trump might have thought, "Hey, this is going to be another Venezuela." We go in, we take out the head guy, and then we kind of tell them what to do, and they kind of listen to us, kind of, and things are fine,
Yeah.
right? But in this case, I think it was supposed to be like that. We take out the leader, we put somebody else in his place, and everything keeps running. But then everybody else died. So it's like, uh-oh. And then he actually mentioned, he's like, hey, I don't want the sun. And guess what? They put the sun in charge, right?
Of course they are.
So, oh my God. So yeah, definitely we're in a quagmire here. And then there's other things as well. There's Russia who's helping Iran. And Trump is on the phone with Putin, be like, hey, what are you doing?
Right. We just lifted restrictions on oil for
Yes.
them,
Mm-hmm.
right? How long
Yep.
does it? Oh, there's like, oh, we'll just do that for just a little bit of snip at a time, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
This is a lot. And now we had the actual release, right, of oil into the market.
We did
Really didn't
that. Yeah.
budge the
SPR
price.
release. Yeah. Didn't do anything.
Uh-oh.
Price is up today.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, we're definitely in a pickle. And then you got midterms. Come. So
Yep.
it's like this, yeah.
And so, yeah, so Iran, so what? Russia is helping Iran with targeting. Like, hey, where do the target? Because they got satellites and whatever,
There's
so
no doubt in my mind.
they
Why
can tell
wouldn't they?
them.
Why wouldn't they? Okay, just be
Yep.
realistic.
And we've been helping Ukraine with the same thing, with the targeting, right? So it's going to be like, I feel bad for Ukraine. Ukraine's like, oh, dang it.
Yeah, we're just
Like,
caught in the middle. Like,
they're fighting for their lives, and now their
now the
advantages that
US
they
like,
have are gone.
hey Russia, I'll help you with this and this a little bit if you ease up on this. And it's like this, I mean, it's politics
Hmm.
at its worst.
Yep. And then Hegseth, he said something. He's like, "Oh yeah, we're running out of those long range missiles, right? The long range missiles that shoot down the other missiles. But don't worry, we'll use other stuff." But guess what? We would need if we were going to, or fight China. If they took if they went after Taiwan, guess what we would need? We would need those long range missiles, which
Yeah.
we're running out of. So China's like laughing their butts off over there. They're like, "This is
Yeah.
awesome."
And also, and the other interplay into this is China has a limited amount of oil, from what I understand. They,
China has, yeah,
yeah. So that's a question. There is reports of like long lines and people and Chinese residents buying up oil like ahead of time.
yeah. There's probably a panic.
Yeah.
We do know that China has been stockpiling oil for years. They've been stockpiling everything, um, for years, and they bought, about 80% of the Iranian oil. Iranian oil is still getting through to them. Iran is letting its ships go through the strait.
And there's
Um,
a report what an Indian, like India got a couple of ships through.
mhm, yeah.
Yeah,
And so Iran is telling Saudi and Oman and whoever else there, like, hey, if you want us to let your ships through, tell America to get out
get out. Yeah.
and don't let them use you to attack us, and we will let your ships through. Now, who knows if they're going to or not, but it's definitely in their mind, right? Because again, this guy Pape was saying that there's a difference between what the political people want and what the people want,
Right.
right? I mean, this whole area
It's
is
getting
Muslim.
decimated. Think about it, and
Is
it's worse and worse
is
all the
getting
time.
decimated, but this whole area is Muslim, right? So what do you have? You have a war between Iran, which is a different kind of Muslim. So yeah, we don't really like those guys, but we like Israel even less, you
Right.
know? And so Israel is trying to kill Muslims and they're trying to expand their territory. And why are we helping them? Right? So the
Right.
people
Well,
don't
from their point, they still see us infringing on that area.
exactly.
Way, of course.
Exactly. And Pape said that, airline traffic after 9/11 did not recover for 2 years after 9/11.
Yeah.
So now you have this country, this, like
Dubai.
Dubai, exactly,
Yeah.
Dubai, where a
People are leaving.
drone, a
They're
drone
moving.
could hit them at any time.
Yeah.
And so who's going to go there?
You think you're just up in your office and everything's good and it has a stability, and all of a sudden a missile comes in, you're going to think twice. I mean,
Yeah,
do I really want to work here and be here and
exactly.
spend money here? Yeah, absolutely.
Because tourism is a huge portion of all of these countries, including Saudi. Their GDP relies on it. And people, and especially Dubai is mostly foreign nationals that work
Hmm.
there. There aren't that many Dubaians or whatever they're called,
Yeah.
Emiratis, I don't know what they're called, that live there. There are a few, and they're there, but most of the work is done by foreign nationals. And so it's like, hey, we got bombs flying, get me out of here,
Right.
right? And so there's definitely repercussions for everybody, and it's going to last for years. It's not going to be over just because the hostilities go down, because we've seen this before. Israel attacked Iran before, twice, and now this is number three. So when is it going to happen again? We don't know. Nobody knows.
Yeah. You don't know. You don't
Um,
know.
and so again, this takes us back to, hey, how long is this war going to take? Um, And if it goes on and if there are troops on the ground and it's going to be a all-out bloodbath
I
in
think if
terms
they
of
bring troops in, regardless if it's from the US or Israel, it's you can just lock and say it's going to go way longer than even what we're thinking, right?
hmm
That's yeah.
yep. And so I mean this guy made so many points that were really, really good. And he was like, this
Uh,
is how these people have understood to fight America. Like you at this point, Iran cannot fight toe to toe with America. They cannot go bomb for bomb, right? But what is the weakness of America? It is the political issue, the political structure.
mhm.
And so if you have a long drawn out war, eventually they're going to capitulate and they're going to leave. That's happened with Vietnam and
Right.
that
Do we
happened
have the
with
will?
Afghanistan.
We have the will to do that, and I would say not, right? It's
No,
obvious. It's
no,
obvious.
nobody even knows why the hell we're there.
Right. Right. And they know that. And I would also say it's scary because China and Russia are watching this too. I mean, they're not idiots.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate the idea that, and I know it's there, and I'm not saying all of us think that way, but it's like, you know, the US is wonderful. It's safe. It's great. It's got everything going for it. But it's like we kind of go, oh yeah, well, that's just over there. And then we think that, oh, they're not as sophisticated. Some people actually think that. And this Iran is a huge country, right? And it's got everything, right? So it's like the idea of thinking that, they can't match us in some way, is just false.
Yeah, like they're not smart enough.
Yeah, it's
They're
just
all
ridiculous.
backwards or whatnot. It's It is, yeah, that is a thought. That is a thought that is
Yeah, and it's
prevalent.
a lot of people don't say that, but you can feel that, and it's uncategorically wrong, right? It's just, you know, people are people, right? Everywhere. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's not a good situation the way I look at it. But my
Yeah,
still my
and so, in terms of trading in the stock market, I do see, and the title of this episode is Stock Market Correction, Here We Come.
yeah.
Um, if the prices stay high, oil prices stay high, that's going to lead to a lots of people pulling back in all sorts of things.
Yeah, you can
And
just see it kind of tiring out. I mean, you can see it on the charts. You can see it in the what's going on geopolitically.
mhm.
Um,
There is no reason right now for anybody to put any money to work in the market. Like, why would I invest today? There's no reason.
right. For the same reasons we just talked about in Dubai, right? Why would you invest in something like that area or anything,
Hmm.
right? Just to think about the long term. That's what it
Yep,
really investing is. So,
exactly.
mm,
And so all these companies, are going to have a harder time. They're going to be laying people off, and those people are not going to be finding jobs because of AI, because nobody's hiring. And so the question of the word stagflation keeps getting thrown around. And what is stagflation? It is when prices go up, but jobs are not there, and the economy is going the opposite direction. Economy is going down, but prices are going up because of a shock. And
yeah, and I can
so,
kind of see that's been happening for longer than we'd like to admit.
yeah, so you have inflation, but you also have a bad economy. So the Fed, they would be like, okay, we're going to lower rates to help the economy. Okay, that's going to make inflation worse. Okay,
I
we'll
think
raise rate.
Jerome Powell right now, he's like, yeah, can I get out of here?
I know, right?
You
Get
did a
me out
great
of
job, man.
here.
Peace.
Please,
I'm
please
out.
fire me.
I did my best. Look, I took you all the way to here.
Yep. And they cannot raise rates to cut the inflation because the economy is already in trouble. So
Right. And we're
what
in
it
debt. They need those lower rates, right, to finance the debt. I mean, it's crazy.
exactly? Yeah, the debt is at levels that we've never seen before, and that's around the world. Ain't nobody coming to save us this time. China's definitely not going to, like they did last time. Um, and so yeah, it's a bad, bad, bad situation. Correction, stock market, it might be the least of our worries.
Yeah. And then I also, so much to talk about, right? I also like in the news and you hear these little rumblings of private credit, how it's in trouble, right?
Big time
Big
trouble.
time, right? Like it just came out, Blackstone, BlackRock, these are all starting to get in trouble, right? So
Yep.
it's like, yeah,
Yep.
that's
So
not good.
these are the guys that, they invested and they bought thousands and thousands and thousands of houses around the country, right? They're renting them out. Private credit, what does that actually mean, right? It
Unregulated, really. Unregulated credit.
Unregulated, yeah, but who do they lend it to? They lend it to people who are investors in commercial properties, residential properties, like multifamily properties, like big properties. Not like the guy buying a house down the street for a mortgage. No, this is for major like warehouses and big developments and stuff like that. And all of those guys, all of them are in trouble. Um, I invested in a real estate development, not a development, but it was a real estate fund, like a group, right? Maybe like 4 years ago. And the idea was, and this was big at the time, like, hey, we're going to go buy this apartment complex. We're going to fix it up. We're going to paint it. We're going to make all these improvements and rent it out at higher rents. And then we'll sell it and we'll make tons of money,
And when
right?
times are good, it works. It
When
works.
when times are good, when rates are low, it works. Um, but rates went up. And these people, not just mine, the people that were running my deal, but a lot of these people that were running these type of deals did not anticipate rates going up for some reason. And so a lot of people got notices like the one I did. Like, hey, hello, I'm sorry, we tried our best, but the property has gone into foreclosure and you're going to lose 100% of your investment, and we'll send you a K-1 to show you that you lost so you can claim it on your taxes,
Yeah.
you know? And it's like, okay, I put in the stock market, I might lose 20%, 30%, you know? Over here, I lost the whole damn thing. I can't
Yeah.
even do anything
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. You're not protected by FDIC or anything.
Yeah, don't know anything, don't know
Yeah.
what's going on, and it's just gone. And that's one investment. There's so many others I can think about that people are like pulling back. They're like, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. Um, and so these type of properties now, with their multifamily apartment units, their commercial properties, their office buildings, they cannot get refinanced because the rates are higher and they can't make the money, and they can't rent out the units because there aren't that many people renting for
Yeah.
commercial properties. And so, yeah, private credit is in a lot of trouble.
Especially
Um,
the name like BlackRock and, Blackstone.
uh-huh. Yep. And David
Those,
says, David puts
those
a
are
comment.
small. They're not small. What do you say?
David's got a comment. He goes, "You guys are not cheering me up." Yeah.
Look, like I said many episodes, and I am a half glass full guy. I don't want to say this stuff, but
But it does not
it needs to
look
be said. It needs to be, that's what we talk about. You need to be aware of this stuff.
right. So on the flip side, let's be a little cheery. Like, Pape said that there was a way out. Okay. There is a way that this could end and things could go back to somewhat normal. Is that if Trump takes the deal offered by the Iranians. So they can still negotiate. They can still come up with some kind of deal. It will not be as good a deal as they were offering before with the last Supreme Leader. Um, but if Trump can just get a deal done and maybe even kick the can down the road, things will maybe get back to normal. And if he can put
All
a
right.
rein on Israel and say, stop bombing them, you're not doing anything, leave them alone.
Sorry to put the negative blanket over that from my side, but I see three letters, EGO. Okay, so I don't see him doing it.
EGO, ego. Like EGO.
He's
Is
got a
that a
big one.
governmental urgency
Yeah,
or
no,
what is EGO?
oh
Oh,
boy.
okay.
No,
Yes.
ego.
Ego,
Yeah.
yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
got the biggest, one of the biggest, right?
Yep. So, they have not ruled out troops on the ground. They keep avoiding the question. According to this guy, Pape, that's probably the biggest thing that they could screw up with. If they do put troops on the ground, that will take even longer. And yeah, it's not a,
It's fascinating to think about. So it's like, all the different interplays
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. So David's saying that he's bought some puts on SPY. So he's on the opposite camp. He's like, oh no, the market's going up because he bought puts. Well, I think that was a good idea. I think the market's going lower. So we'll see what happens.
That may that may pay out very well.
Yeah. But yeah, so again, we have to keep an eye on this stuff. It's only been 2 weeks in. A lot of stuff has happened already. And
But what I love about trading and that we teach people, you can trade around this, right? There's opportunity there. There's tons of opportunity.
mhm.
Um, Let me be cherry for a second, right? Be
Yeah.
positive. Um, you can take advantage of the market for what it's doing, right?
hmm Yep.
Going up, down, or sideways.
Multiple strategies, multiple ways you can play it up or going
Mhm.
down, like you said. I looked at the trades that we have in the credit spread mastery class that we're running right now at the club.
Doing very well. Yeah.
Yeah, all four. We've done it for 2 weeks and we're putting on two trades every week. So we got four trades on right now. All of them are positive. All of them are profitable. So
I mentioned that in our class. We were talking about it. We are like, okay, we got all these trades on. I said, and we're like in the worst, not great times,
mhm.
right? And we're doing fine.
Yep.
So there's a lot to be said for that.
Yeah. I mean, if you are sitting on like naked put positions or long stock positions, yes, it's going to take a hit. The wheel people are going to be suffering right now because they're going to be assigned and their covered calls are not going to hurt or not going to help much.
Right.
Um, but if you are in credit spreads and you can easily switch out and go the opposite direction. But that being said, we have four trades on, like I said, two are bullish and two are bearish. So It's really about picking the right ones at this point. It's the
Yeah,
stock pickers.
we're up to six now. You added a couple today.
Okay. For the class?
No, not for the crit spray, no, for overall
Oh,
for
in
the
the
club.
club. In
In
the
the club,
club.
the
In the club,
totals.
yeah. Right. So the club trades, yeah, they're doing well. And so it's weird. A lot of stuff that's supposed to work is not working. Gold still not working. It's still flat. It's still or down. I mean, it's down from where it was, and it's still not really doing anything. So,
Yeah. I mean,
ver-
I was talking, it's interesting that you bring that up because I was talking to, it came up in our coaching calls, and it's like, okay, we know the strategies of what we need to do, but it doesn't take, and you have all the technicals, right, or whatever it's going to tell you, right, moving averages, anything you want to look at, and all that's good, but it's like, it doesn't discount you from using our brain, right, to really you understand, right? And I think, you have to have the confidence in yourself that you understand the world better than people think, right? So you can easily, not easily, but put this stuff together and make a decision in conjunction with everything that we do, right? Strategies, technicals, and
mhm,
then your head about where it's headed. Yeah.
yeah. And I think that because we're in the markets and because this impacts us greater than the average person, right? So the average person, they're putting their money maybe in an index fund or they give it to their guy, their financial guy down the street who they've known. So they're
And
not
that guy
really,
comes out after it's done, right? And he's like, oh yeah, sorry about that. That happens.
yeah.
Too late.
So they don't, I mean, so the average person is not in control of their money, right? They put in a
Sure.
401k, it gets invested for them. They don't, so for them to watch like MSNBC or Fox, hey, that's fine. You're getting one side of the story.
Hmm.
You're seeing the story that you like, right? And whatever's happening is happening, and you can
You're
blame the other
biased to
side,
that story. You're going to be biased to that
right?
story.
But because we are responsible for our own, I think we need to dig a little deeper and not just listen to the spin and not listen to the biased ones, but really dig a little deeper and maybe look at both sides if you have to. Watch both of them and be like, okay, what is they saying and what are they saying and what's missing?
Yeah.
You know,
And
because
then, yeah, go ahead.
one of the things that this guy Pape said was that the whole thing of the nuclear material, right? They had bombed that facility back in I think February. No, not February. Months ago, right? They had bombed the facility because of the nuclear material. They're enriching. We're gonna bomb them with our B-2 Buster bombers or Buster.
And they did. Yeah.
They did, right? But then you still have the administration negotiating with them. Like, wait a minute, you just destroyed everything. Why are you talking to them?
Exactly. If we obliterated, and that's the word he used, obliterated these sites, why are we even doing this? Why are
Yes,
we there negotiating? What is there to negotiate?
exactly.
What is, why?
Yep.
So obviously, this is not
And
finished.
yeah, and so, he had another point. He said that under Obama, they had a deal, right? The deal was made with that supreme leader, and he's like, they knew where everything was. They had 24-hour surveillance cameras on all of their sites. They had people in the country watching and monitoring and going wherever they wanted. So they were watching and they knew where all the material was. They knew how much they had, they knew how much it was enriched, they knew where it was, they knew what they were doing, they knew everything. But then Trump came and tore it all up. And so as soon as he tore it up, then the Iranians started enriching like full two, like
Yeah,
100%.
they're
Like
like,
let's just do it,
yeah,
right? And so
green
now
light.
they're basically fighting for their lives. And so why would they not keep enriching? Why would they not build the bomb? It doesn't make any sense. Like, hey, if we
Uh,
could do it, this is the only way we're going to protect ourselves. And Pape said that they really should, that if Iran wanted to, they should be using the North Korea playbook, which is basically, hey, we have a nuclear bomb. Let me go test it. and I'll show you. Boom.
Right. Then you're laid off, and then it's
And
kind of over.
then
Yeah.
they're like, and then, the first time North Korea did it, everybody made fun of them. Like, oh, it didn't work, blah, 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 blah. So they went, they did another one. They're like, oh, I don't just have one. I have multiple of these. And
That's
so they
called
had
from your mistake.
it.
It's not good.
Right?
Not
So then
good.
they blow up another one. And then everybody's like, uh-oh, don't mess with this guy. Okay, we can't bomb them because they have nuclear weapons.
You're exactly
Right?
right. Remember all the missiles would go off and they'd be like, oh, that one fell in the Sea of Japan. They're like, ah, that's nothing. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
now you're like, oh, this one flew over Japan. Uh-oh.
Yeah, yeah. These guys have nuclear weapons. So this guy was
Uh,
like, this guy paid. He was like, they're probably gonna, Iran's gonna do the same exact thing. They have at least 16 different weapons that could be weapons that they know of before.
yeah.
And so if they or detonate two of them as tests, I don't know where they're going to do it. He thinks they're going to do it in the mountains. I would probably say do it in the freaking Strait of Hormuz. If they can, that's where I would blow it up.
Probably, yeah, they probably would. Yeah.
That's
I
where I would
mean,
blow it up. So
ugh,
blow up a couple tests and then watch as nobody messes with you again.
yeah.
So for Iran, that's the only way out. That's what I see.
Well, it's like anything, when you're backed up against the wall, that's when crazy things happen.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
No different.
You have nothing to lose. So go ahead because they're bombing you anyway. They're bombing you every single day. And even if they stop bombing you, they don't know, you don't know when they're going to bomb you again.
Hmm.
So you have no reason to not develop your bombs. And
Right.
it's
It's
just,
it's the worst case for the world. Like I don't, no one wants countries that have nuclear weapons. I know that we do, but it's like, I mean, that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna do it to for survival.
mm, so sad. In the meantime, markets are up a little bit. They're still down on the day, but they're up from
I
where they
love how
were
you just
before.
transitioned to that. You're like, so, well, end of the world spin. So anyway,
It's like I'm getting depressed too now, David.
no, I mean it's just like you got to believe that um, you know faith is stronger and we're better as a people that we'll figure this out some form.
Yeah, that's why we vote for our leaders. We're hoping that they are held, they have their right intentions in mind. So
Yeah,
we'll see what happens. Who knows? With the midterms coming up, there might be a deal on the table, you know,
might
just
be
to
right. I
put
mean,
it behind us.
he
Uh,
has to. He's gonna be. I mean, if you if the midterms are right now, he's dead. He's dead, right? So some things have to change.
mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'll see what
Well, good. Did I
happens.
mention today is Friday the 13th?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Ah, that's all right.
Oh no. All right. Let's just sell everything and go home.
No, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's great. I like that is, even though this is stuff is all very depressing, it really is another notch. And like I'm just saying, with trading, you're in control of these situations. I don't have to sit here and just be with, and no offense to advisors, but just be in a fund and then have it get cut in half and then be like, well, I just thought it was going to be different, right? So you have control and dominion over your life, right? So
Yeah.
that's what we're trying to do.
Well, most of the advisors, they don't even know anything either.
No, they're just
They're salesmen.
from what we were taught, like you were taught, like you said, and then when we started this whole podcast, it's like, okay, you're taught to believe in this, you're trained this way, and that's all you know, right? And you get put into that and you don't think otherwise, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Like
so
I had an advisor years and years ago when I was
I had one
younger.
too. That's where I
Um,
learned from a lot of this stuff.
my guy was with Ameriprise, who's still around. It used to be American Express and they changed into Ameriprise.
It's funny, that's who I started with. That's who I started my
Oh,
Roth IRA
really?
with an advisor in, yeah,
Yeah.
with Enterprise.
And he told me like, oh yeah, I get this, I stay on top of the news. I get my daily bulletin from Ameriprise. They tell me what's going on in the markets and what's going on in the world every day, and so I stay abreast of everything. But he basically just chooses mutual funds to put your money into,
Yeah.
I mean, and you get a say in it. Like, okay, oh, do you think the market's going to be up or down in the next 5 months, 5 years? Oh, I think it's going to be up. Okay, let's do here this and this and this. It's like it wasn't.
This this is one of my first tip-offs, right? So I went out and I said, "Oh, you got to get an advisor," and I did that with Ameriprise, right? But my advisor was only like a few years older than really I was, and he was like he was in a nice suit and he was sitting back, and I'm like, "How is this adding up? Like, how does he, like, does he really know?" Is it really that complicated? What was kind of going through my mind because he just seemed like, oh yeah, you're gonna get this and this and this, and I'm like, you start questioning, right? Like not his ability, but you're just kind of like, there must be a easier way to do, and I probably need to go down this route and start figuring it out, right? Of being curious. So it's kind of a starting point. And then years down later, you see exactly what it is, right? So it's and
Hmm.
some people don't want to, right? I get that. Some people do not want to touch their money. They don't want to be accountable to it, right? It's easy just to be like, okay, they know better. You're busy, right? It's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah.
I see why people do it.
And unfortunately for advisors right now, everybody thinks that when you put the word AI into something, it just makes it smarter. Like, oh yeah, we're using AI. Oh, that makes it better.
Yeah,
So
right.
like robo
That's the next
advisor,
frontier. Yeah,
yeah. So like people, the hedge funds, they're like, oh, this is the AI hedge fund. Like, oh, that must be better because it's AI. No, that
you don't
doesn't
have to
mean.
do anything. It just figures it out.
Yeah, it can tell the future because it's AI.
Yeah, okay.
It knows what Trump is thinking.
Yeah, it's fascinating. So, I mean, like that was one of your first experiences. So, what was your first experience with an advisor? Is that where you
That
kind of,
was that was the only
yeah, that was
one.
it.
That
Yeah.
was it. That was the main one where I actually had money with him. And my dad used him, and then I
Mhm.
went to him. My dad quickly got his money out away from him.
Okay.
I had gone to him to get a life insurance policy because I had read like when I find an idea or something, I go deep, right? So I had found an article or something that said, "Oh, life insurance is a great investment, long term, and it has all these benefits." So I went and I got books on it and I started reading it, and life insurance is a really really good quality investment for certain reasons. It's the taxes has good tax benefits. It protects you from creditors. So like if you think you're going to get sued later on, because at that time I thought I was going to be mega, 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 mega rich. So I thought, yeah, people are going to come after me for my money. So I need,
Right. You learn to
so I don't
protect
get
it.
sued. You can take out the money and they'll pay interest on it and it grows automatically. And it had all these benefits, right? So I went to him and I'm like, yeah, I want this policy. Do you have it? And he goes, oh yeah, I could do that for you. And he set me up in a policy. Um, I I kept that policy with the Ameriprise for several years. Um, and eventually I one time I was just looking at the policy and I realized, and that was when I was running OptionGenius and I was trading my own, and I'm like, I keep sending money to these people, but my policy is not growing the way I think it should be growing.
Yeah.
And I looked at the numbers and I'm like, and I have done a podcast episode on this and we have a blog post on the website and everything, but I think in like 10 years, it had only grown up like 45%. And I'm like, the market's done way better than that, like way better than
It should
that.
be different. Yeah.
So it should be at least double, And so I call them and I'm like, hey, what do I do with this? They're like, I want to cancel it.
And they're like, oh,
So
we got a live one.
yeah,
Let's
so
figure
they
it out.
they transferred me and then they transferred me and they transferred me and then finally somebody's talking to me and he's like, "Let me look at your policy. Let me see what's going on here." And he told me, he's like, "Oh my God, you have an amazing return. Why do you want to cancel this? This thing is doing so fabulous." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "What the hell is wrong with you? Have you not
Yeah.
seen what's going on?"
Do you
Like
even know what this? you talking about?
Um, so yeah, so I canceled that. Um, but all of the benefits of the life insurance are still there, right? I still believe in the benefits. I still believe in the life insurance. The problem was that I went with an advisor, number one, and I got the wrong type of policy. So I had gotten what's called a variable universal life policy,
I was gonna ask you. Yeah.
which fluctuates based on the market. So it can go down in value and it can go up in value, but it'll never match the market. But because of the life insurance cost, most of the money was going into fees. And
Yep.
so most of the money never got to the investment portion of it where it was could actually grow. So I did have life insurance for those 10 years, but I paid a very hefty price for it. Since then, I did a lot more research and I have chosen whole life insurance
Hmm.
as an investment. And I have policies now for myself, my wife, and my three kids. And before, I would not get insurance on kids. You know, it's like they don't need insurance. Why are you buying insurance for kids? But because of it's as an investment policy, I'm doing it because it's minimum of 5% per year guaranteed. So it's a guaranteed 5% return. Usually they pay a little bit more because
Hmm.
it's a mutual life insurance company, not a stock life insurance company. So any profits that are made by the insurance company are then given to the policy holders. So you actually get like a dividend
Right.
of, hey, we made money here, here's extra money back. You know, kind of
So
like
you
the
get the
tariff money was supposed to be given to us.
yeah,
Yeah, kind of
yeah.
like that. So it's usually around 7% in the past. So it's since then it's been about 7% gain. It's guaranteed at least 5%, so it'll never go down, right? It'll continue to grow every year. You can take the money out whenever you need it for a loan. Again, it continues to grow tax free. The insurance policy is there. So if I die, the money goes to my family, etc. It is more expensive, of course, than a term policy, but
Mhm.
I realized that term policies, more than 90% of term policies expire. Like either the people live longer than the term policy,
Yeah, there's
or
so many that are like left there. It's just like
yeah,
401ks. They're like, oh, their actual websites will be like, you have a or you have a 401k you didn't know about. It's like,
exactly.
oh my
So
goodness.
for these term policies, either you live longer and then it's just too expensive to renew it, or you cancel it
Yeah.
because you can't afford it. So, most term policies don't work, don't pay off. And so the whole policy made sense to me. And that's what we've been putting money. But even these types of policies, if you have it, they're called cash value policies. The trick
Mhm.
there is there's a certain amount of cash that you could put in, like a certain amount of money you can invest in it every year. You have to send in the max. If you don't, then you're not taking full advantage of it, and the insurance, costs will be much greater.
Yeah.
And so these type of policies, after I think 5 years or something or 6 years, they start paying for themselves. So I don't have to put money in. It'll just the amount it'll grow will pay for the policy, and so it just
Oh yeah,
continues.
so it's like self-contained. Yeah,
Yeah. So
that
I
makes
don't
sense.
even have to put more money in after a certain amount of time, which is that that was cool. It's like I never seen that before, you
Yeah.
know. And then you kind of just have free insurance forever. So I was like, okay, but you wanna put it in, you wanna max it out. So that's what I've been doing. So
But like that's the benefit of being curious and going deep like you did, right? Otherwise you would not know,
yeah,
right?
most people are like,
No.
term policy and invest the
Where do they
difference.
want to go, right? They just
That's
kind of
what
take
that's
it
what
at surface level and be like, yeah, this is gonna work.
yep,
Uh,
that's what Dave Ramsey told me. Get a term
yeah.
and invest the difference. Yeah, but who does it? Nobody invests the difference.
Yeah, he's like, just these mutual funds and just forget
Yep.
about it.
Yeah.
Fine.
Get a Ramsey advisor. They have those
Yeah.
too now.
Yeah, just put your money in the cash and have cash and don't worry about the government deflating it away. No problem. Don't worry
Yeah.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry
In the
about
beginning,
stagflation coming
no, don't
where
worry about it.
everything costs more and you can't get a job because of AI.
Yeah. They'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Yep. And you paid
Sure
cash for
you
everything, so you have no cash. This is one
will.
thing I think I don't get. Like, me and my wife had this argument for years. right? She was always like, we should pay off our house. And I'm like, I don't want to pay off the house. I don't want to use the money. We got a decent rate. I can invest it somewhere, anywhere, and get
Hmm.
more. So why would we not invest? Because I want the security. So if we lose our jobs or something happens, we don't have a payment. I was like, well, if
Still
you lose
taxes.
you still have to pay taxes, number one. Yeah.
Do you really own it?
Never really own it. But
Never really
number
own it.
two, if you lose your job or if you get hurt or whatnot, nobody's going to give you a mortgage on the house. Nobody's going to lend you money on that house because you don't have a job.
Right,
And so you have to sell the house anyway, just to get the cash out.
right.
So you're
So
screwed.
it's a question of like you want to keep your assets in my mind.
Exactly. If
Yeah,
we if we don't pay off the mortgage and we have it in an investment, if we lose our job, we can take the money out of the investment and live off of it
right.
until we find another job. So it's like, yeah,
It's
so
a
we had
little
that
bit of
argument.
a little bit of trickery. I would say over time it's a little bit of trickery of the rich, right? It's like how do you leverage the debt that you have, right? And there's so many more benefits to it
Yeah. And
if used
now I kind of
intelligently.
and now me and my wife we kind of flipped. She's like, we shouldn't borrow, we shouldn't pay anything. We should borrow for as much as we can. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want so many
You're like, who are you
payments.
listening to?
You know,
Listen to you.
we just bought she just got a new Toyota Sienna minivan, right? And um we're making the payments and I'm like, "Hey, I'm going to pay off your car." And she's like, "No, don't you dare." I'm like, "What do you mean?" Like, "No, we're going to invest that money somewhere else." I'm like, "Yeah, but we're paying a high rate on this thing." She's like,
Yeah,
"Nope." I'm like, I got the high rate because I thought we were gonna pay it off right away. Now
right.
we gotta go refinance the thing and do all this stuff, and I'm like, geez. She goes, "No, I don't want to pay it off." I'm like, okay,
The
so
beauties of marriage. You meet in the middle somewhere, they say.
so all right. Well, that's it for today.
Uh,
Unfortunately, not a lot of good news. Not a lot. But if you do get whole life insurance, get it with somebody who will focus on the cash value and not the death benefit. You want as small as death benefit as you can possibly get so that almost all of your money goes to the cash value and lets the policy grow. I still think a whole life policy is a good idea, 5%, guaranteed every year, even if the market is going down, even if stock prices are down, oil prices are up, the economy is going into the hell in a handbasket. Hopefully, the insurance will still work. there,
yeah.
there, there are no guarantees, but I mean, it's worked through a while. These companies are around for 100 years. That in itself is not saying much, but it sounds good. You're like, oh
The
yeah,
best track record that you have available to you.
yeah.
That's
They've been
good.
around for 100 years. So I would say that might be good. But if not, then definitely sell options. You can still make money selling options.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. So that's it for today. Actually, market's back down to where it was when we started talking. Okay.
Still less than an hour to go, so we'll see.
Yep. Yep. No market power today. We had a nice one yesterday.
Oh, beauty, right? I
Really
mean,
nice.
those are the ones that are wonderful.
I wanted a double dip. I was like, oh, I want that double dip.
Yeah, I thought we might get it, but it was yesterday, but it just didn't happen.
I kept watching the number. It kept going to like point 0.8 market power, point 0.8. Then it would back off, and then point 0.8
Well,
and then back off. And I'm like, oh my God, it's not.
I was surprised that we had such little double dips. I think with all this volatility, we would have a little bit more this week, but
Mm,
it's a hit and miss.
well, might get it next week. Who knows? I even thought about it. I was like, I really want a double dip. I might just put it on. Even though we don't have the signal, I might just put it on. And that would have been a bad idea.
Yeah, yeah, we again in market power last night we talked about that same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because we have a few that are like, yeah, you get, and we talk about it, right? You get over anxious and you don't stick to the rules that are in place, and you just get a little, and that's when usually you get nabbed, right? So
Yes. The discipline. The discipline
you
is
gotta have the
important.
discipline to do it, right?
And I thought about it and I would have gotten in. And then at the end of the day, market power
Get
came and it,
smoked.
it would
Yeah,
have
dude. Smoked.
It would have been hurt. So I'm very happy that I had my discipline and I did follow the rules and I did not do it. So
Yep.
it's another example of when following the rules works in your favor.
Yep. You gotta keep beating it into your head over and over again. Yep.
Oh boy. All right. So Matt, we will see you and talk to you next Wednesday. Actually, no, we'll be together for the credit spread mastery class on Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yep.
And then we will talk for the Option Genius show on Wednesday and then again on Friday. If you have not subscribed to the channel, do so now or forever hold your peace.
Yes, and bring the questions. Bring the questions. Put them in there.
Yeah, let us know what you're thinking. Let us know what you're doing. We love having gives us other things to talk about
Sure. Yeah.
while you guys are posting your
You put
comments.
your own
So
thoughts in there, whatever you think.
yeah, so
Just
we love that as well. And yeah, so we'll see how it goes.
all right.
Alrighty. Take it easy, everybody.